What's up YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys remember yesterday's video, I did an opening of arguably one of the most unique sets in the meta, Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm, and I talked about how I was planning to talk about the new Gate Guardian support that will be in the upcoming set Maze of Memories, which I am going to be doing in today's video. The set won't be released until not for another couple of weeks or so. I think for another week or so. So I'm very excited for this set because we're finally getting all the different cards that we had seen in the OCG, and we're now finally getting them printed here in the TCG. Cards like Barian Untopia, I believe it's called. Cards like the new Infernity spell, the new the new Galaxy card, the new card for I think that works with all 4 different decks. Lurlisks, Melodious, that card. Even also the new Resonator support, as well as the new Red Eyes card, Red Eyes Soul, I think it is. And also just some other generic reprints that work with those different cards. And we're actually getting the new support again. Even the Gate Guardian reprints are all going to be in the set. So I'm very excited. So as promised, I will be talking about the new support. But before we get into today's video, if you guys enjoyed the video and you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, because you guys know I always use YG Organization. Big shout outs to them. No copyrights. To talk about any and all new cards, new reprints that are coming out, and all that. So if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well if you want to send fan mail. And make sure you guys check out the community tab. I actually posted the photos of the 2 booster boxes that I mentioned that I'm going to open up at some point. So again, if we reach 200 subscribers, I will open up that Korean Strike of Neos box. Even also and also when we reach 1,000 subs, which would be quite the milestone, to be quite frank. I will open up the first edition Toon Chaos box, just because of the fact that Toon Chaos has aged so well in the last 3 years. Why not, So if you guys want to see those boxes get open, subscribe to this channel, you guys, because I'm pretty sure that the polls are going to be fire. But with that being said, let's get into it. Kicking these off, we have Labyrinth Heavy Tank, which is a 7-star Dark Machine with 2400 attack and defense, and it says that you can normal summon this card without tributing. Cannot attack the turn it is normal summoned. During your main phase, you can place one of your Song of the Thunder, Kazugen, and Suijin that is banished, or in your hand or deck, face up in your back row, in your spell trap zone as a continuous spell. Then if you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. So this is pretty cool because this is basically a way to take the three Gate Guardian pieces, put them into your back row, and I believe with the spell, I think with the spell you can actually use hold on, let's go down a bit. There was supposed to have been a spell that lets you Oh, I guess not. I guess not. Well, anyway, you can actually use those 3 monsters that are in your back row and go into any of the new Gate Guardian fusion monsters that are going to be in the set. So it's a nice way to it's a nice way to ensure that you get Gate Guardian on board turn 1, which is absolutely insane. And not only that, it can also break boards just by popping a monster that your opponent may have on board, which could be literally anything. Could the deck beat Kashtira? It's possible. It is very possible, but only time will tell. So this is basically your searcher, which is really nice. So next up we have Shadow Ghoul of the Labyrinth, which is a 5-star dark zombie with 1600 attack, 1300 defense, and it says you can discard this card, add 1 Labyrinth Wall card from your deck to your hand. So this is essentially your Stratos, I guess you could say, for Labyrinth Wall, which is pretty cool. Excuse me. By the way, shoutouts to Brisk for the pink lemonade, not sponsored. Just love pink lemonade. Anyway, it's basically a 1-for-1 where you send this card from your hand to your grave. You can add Labyrinth Wall from the deck to the hand, which is really cool. At the start of the damage step, if your opponent's monster battles while you control a Labyrinth Wall card, you can banish this card from your grave, destroy that opponent's monster. So it's essentially Catastor in the graveyard. That's all it is. It's basically Catastor in the graveyard with a 1-for-1 effect, which is really good. What's cool about this card is that if you have multiple copies of this and you summon them both, you can actually overlay them into a rank 5 Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon, and you will be able to pop even more cards on the board than normal, which is pretty cool. Now we move on into the fusion. So first up we have Gate Guardian Combined, which is a 12-star Dark Warrior fusion with 3750 attack. Haven't seen those in quite a while, have we, guys? You gotta love the 50 attack, everybody. You gotta love them. And 3400 defense, and it does require Song of the Thunder, Kaze-Gen, and Sui-Gen. And the effect reads, must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card or cards you control as a quick effect, you can negate that effect and destroy that card. You can only use this effect thrice per turn. If this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon a level 11 or lower Gate Guardian from your deck or extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions. So what's cool about this is that this is essentially a triple. It's basically as if you're running 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, but without even having to pay the life points, which is insane. And what's even more crazy is that you can summon Gate Guardian from your fucking deck. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? I believe also you can even also summon a second copy of Gate Guardian Combined just off of its own effect, which is even more insane. So basically, it would be as if you're running multiple copies of Gate Guardian. So it would be what, one regular Gate Guardian and then 3 Gate Guardian combined? Come on, people, really? That's pretty broken. I actually might have to build this deck just for the hell of it, just to see what would happen, you know? Because honestly, I'm under the impression that this might just break Kashtira. Even though we know that in previous sorry guys, I'm on Twitter right now. Sorry guys, I'm on Twitter right now. Anyway, it's possible that this deck could break Kashtira, because we know that I think what was it at the YCS in Vegas? I think the Trap Tricks deck was actually or actually no, it was not viable. Actually, no, my mistake. I find it very interesting that Kashtira has completely dominated the meta, given the fact that the Shizu tier deck did the exact same thing, but there weren't a whole lot of decks that could break that format. Now we have what, 2-3 decks that can break Kashtira, Trap Tricks, this one, and potentially and one other one. I don't know what that one is. Maybe Zombie. I think Zombies might be able to break it, but who knows? Guys. Anyway, next up we have Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind, which is a 9-star light thunder fusion with 2,500 attack, 2,200 defense, and requires Sanga of the Thunder, and Kaze Jin. And it says that it must be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. During your main phase, you can add a spell trap from your deck to your hand that mentions Sanga of the Thunder, Kazejin, and Suijin. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one of your banished Sanga of the Thunder or Kazejin. That's actually that's actually pretty cool. So this is essentially spell trap Rota, which is pretty nice. And what's cool about this is that you can add pretty much anything to your hand that mentions any of the 3 Gate Guardian pieces, which is absolutely insane. And plus, I think also with this deck, because of the fact that the Gate Guardian 2-piece monsters are all level 9, you can actually go into number 9 Dyson Sphere, which is insane. And then you can just activate Numeron Force, break the opponent's board, and go into Chaos Dyson Sphere and just obliterate the living shit out of your opponent. That's actually pretty cool. I have to admit, that's actually pretty insane. Next up, we have Gate Guardian of Wind and Water, which is a 9-star Wind Spellcaster fusion with 2,450 attack, 2,300 defense, and it requires Kazejin and Suijin. And it says, must be special summon from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a spell or trap or card or effect on the field as a quick effect, negate that effect. You can only use this effect twice per turn. If this face-up special summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of the opponent's card, special summon one of your banished Kazejin or Suijin. So this is actually pretty interesting, because this is basically this is essentially Gate Guardian combined. Only difference is that you don't destroy. It doesn't say destroy the card, which is a bit weird, but the effect does get negated. So if your opponent were to activate, let's say, a field spell, you can automatically negate it, but it won't do anything. You know, you can activate Pot of Prosperity. Your opponent can activate Pot of Prosperity. This effect gets triggered, and they don't get the +2, which is pretty nice. So it's a great way to ensure that your opponent doesn't get any pluses. off of any of their cards that they activate, which is pretty insane. Next, and then the last of the fusions, we have Gate Guardian of Water and Thunder, which is a 9-star Water Aqua fusion, with 2550 attack, 2300 defense, and it requires Suijin and Sangha of the Thunder. Must be special summon from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. Once per chain, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0 until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect twice per turn, and if it were to leave the field, you can special summon one of your banished Suijin or Sangha of the Thunder. So to summarize what each of these do, go back up a bit. Gate Guardian combined is basically triple Solemn Judgment, which is absolutely insane, and it lets you summon. It basically lets you summon either Gate Guardian, and when I said another Gate Guardian combined, I realized I forgot that it's a 12-star, so you can basically just summon either Gate Guardian or any of the three double the 2-part fusions, actually. So again, to summarize what they do, Gate Guardian combined is a triple Solemn Judgment with the ability to summon Gate Guardian or any of the 3 lower level extra deck fusion monsters. Thunder and Wind is basically Spell and Trap Rhoda, which is pretty nice. Wind and Water is basically a double Solemn Judgment with the minus the destruction effect, and then Water and Thunder can basically just take any monster that your opponent may have and change its attack to zero, and you can just attack over it for a game, which is pretty nice. And those effects are twice per turn, which is pretty nice. So that's actually not too bad. Not too bad at all, if I say so myself. Again, it's very possible that this deck could potentially switch up the meta drastically, but it all depends on how the deck gets built. So I will attempt to get the deck built. Once I get it built and tested, I am definitely going to do a deck profile on it. So make sure you guys get ready for that. But with that being said, moving on. Next up, we have Labyrinth Wall Shadow, which is their field spell, and it reads: monsters cannot attack the turn they are summoned, except monsters whose original level is 5 or higher. Once per turn during your main phase, you can place one of your Song of the Thunder, Kazujin or Suijin that is banished, or in your hand or deck, face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can target one monster your opponent controls with less than 1600 attack and destroy it. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's basically all of the. It's basically all the rules of the Labyrinth duel that Yugi and Joey had against the Paradox Brothers in the first season of the DM anime, but on steroids, I guess you could say, which is pretty insane. Next up, we have Double Attack Wind and Thunder, which is a quick play spell, and it says if you control a Gate Guardian monster, target one card on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, add one of your Song of the Thunder, Kaijin or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. So not only is this a pop, but it's also a sort of like a DDR, but instead of summoning the monster, it gets added to your hand. That is actually a really great way. That's actually a really great way to quickly go into any of the Gate Guardian fusions that you might want to summon at your disposal, which is really nice. Next up, we have Ryoku Guardian, which is a normal spell, And the effect reads, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, target one monster you control with Gate Guardian in its original name, have your opponent's life points, then that monster gains attack equal to your opponent's life points. You can banish the card from your grave, add one of your Sangha of the Thunder, Kazijin or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. So, again, this is basically the original Ryoku, but on steroids. And, your opponent's life points are going to go down drastically. And the best part, if you paired this off, and funny enough, if you paired this off with, what was it, with Water and Thunder, you could potentially attack for game. You basically would have game on board, which is nuts, absolutely nuts. Like, you can't really describe how insane that is. It's just insane. But now we move on to the final card, and it is known as Prey of the Jurai Gumo, which is a continuous trap, and it says, special summon this card as a normal monster, which would be a 5-star Earth Insect with 2100 attack and 100 defense, and it says to your main monster zone in its same column. And apparently it is also a trap. Excuse me, and it's also still a trap. Then you can destroy a monster your opponent controls in this card's column. You can banish this card from your grave, add one of your Sangha of the Thunder, Kazijin, or Suijin that is banished or in your deck to your hand. So, again, this card plus the Shadow Ghoul Wall Shadow monster, and you instantly have a rank 5. You instantly have yourself a rank 5 monster right off the bat. I'm telling you guys, this deck is gonna potentially destroy the meta. This is absolutely insane. Being able to just overpower your opponent with literally Gate Guardian combined, Thunder and Wind, Wind and Water, Water and Thunder, all on the board. You know, and then of course you've got cards such as Dice's Sphere, such as Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon. You would have yourself a very powerful board. So I am very curious of how this deck will look. But that brings me to the question of the day, and I want your guys' opinion on this question. Do you believe that this deck will change the meta? Let me know down in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more videos like this in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description. And as always, if you guys want to send fan mail, my info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.